Peace. What's the word, everybody? Give everybody a chance to tap in with the kid before we start building on the subject matter for the day. Y'all see the topic for the day, man. We talking about fasting for not only just weight loss, but general health, man. Fasting is something that I swear by, man. So I'm always building on the art and the science of fasting. So that's the subject matter for the day. So if you have any questions and concerns about fasting, man, this is the stream for you. But how y'all living though on this wonderful Friday? What's the word, man? Talk to me before I start talking to y'all, because I got a lot to talk about in reference to fasting, and I got a lot of books to share with y'all in regards to fasting. So if you want to do your own research, y'all already know. Y'all know I always come with the books, always come with the sources, man. We're not just about to talk about it, but we also gonna supply you with the sources, man, just so you can do your own studying. Don't take what I say on face value. First and foremost, you have to experiment. That's one of the main things when it comes to fasting, experimentation. You got to experiment with all the different forms to see what works best for you. A lot of people don't realize that the form of fasting that may work for somebody else may not work for you. So we got to understand that too. When it comes to fasting, there are a lot of forms. There are a lot of different ways to fast. You got to find the one that makes sense for you. So just because you underwent one fast and it didn't work doesn't necessarily mean fasting is not for you. Don't even mean that form of fasting wasn't for you. You probably went into the fast incorrectly. A lot of people don't understand small things that you must do before and after fast to make it effective. Ray, peace, what's happening? Terrence, peace, what's the word? Salacious, Montel, peace, what's happening? Aaron, peace. Ray Sean, peace, what's happening? Oh, yeah, this is crucial for everybody. Like I said, everybody should be doing some form of fasting. When you studying any type of religion, any type of spiritual system, they all mention fasting in some way, shape, or form. They all mention abstaining from food for a period of time. They all mention it. They all mention it. You're not going to study a spiritual system or a religion or culture, whatever the case may be, and get deep into it, and they don't mention some form of fasting. Abstaining from food for a brief period of time. Every culture knows the benefits of not eating for a prolonged period of time. Every culture understands this. Joshua, you say, what are things you recommend for gut health? This fasting that I'm about to talk about. You know, it's fasting. Tap in. This fasting will definitely help with your gut health. You know, for the most part, a lot of our problems stem from the fact that we eat so much that our digestive system is overworked. Just imagine how you feel when you're overworked, when you done worked too many hours. You done worked all this overtime. Imagine how your body feels, how you feel, just mentally and physically. How do you feel? How do you feel, man, if you got to keep pulling off 12-hour shifts? Man, you feeling you drained. So just imagine like all the food that we eat on a day-to-day basis. On a day-to-day basis. Each day, you 3, 4, 5 meals a day. Your digestive system is never getting a break. Never getting a break. And we wonder why we be so sluggish. We wonder why we be lacking energy. We wonder why we just messed up mentally. We wonder why we so aggressive, angry, frustrated. Look at our digestive system. It's overworked. And I feel like that's something that we take for granted because a lot of us don't understand that. But I mean, if you constantly eating, that means your digestive system is constantly working. It's not getting its proper rest. And we know rest is essential, not only for us, but for the systems internally. So for the digestive system, rest is important. Just like on a physical level, we understand that we must rest. Internally, we got to give our systems a break too. Black Graffiti, peace. What's happening? Montel, everything is peace, man. Everything is peace. Chris, what's happening? Michael, you say, will fasting tear down your muscles? No, not at all. But I'm going to tell you what will tear down your muscles, though. And this is where it gets, I don't want to say confusing, but this is where people don't have an understanding. When you reduce your calories, so when you do that, like when people say, oh man, I'm consuming 500 calories a day, things like that, that actually will tear down your muscles, opposed to doing a full 24-hour fast. A 24-hour fast actually preserves the muscle. But when you reduce your calories on a day-to-day basis, that is actually when you start to tear down your muscle. That puts you in what they call starvation mode when you try to reduce your calories. That's why when it comes to weight loss, a lot of people do not recommend the calorie reduction method, because that's when it starts tapping into the muscle. And that's when you have that skinny fat look. But when you fast for 24 hours, meaning nothing for the whole day, that actually preserves the muscle. So people don't understand that. That's why when a lot of people ask me about fasting, that's why I recommend going a full day instead of doing something like 16, 8, things like that, because you're just going to end up reducing your calories at that point. Now that can work for you for a minute, but then once you hit that wall with that calorie reduction program, then it's time for you to upgrade to going days of going like 24 hours. So you can do the 16-8, the 19-5, the 24 up to a certain point. Then your body gonna adapt and adjust to it. It's gonna get used to it. That's when it's time for you to say, all right, now it's time for me to do a 24-hour fast. It's time for me to do a full day fast. It's time for me to go to 5-2 method, fasting 24 hours for 2 days, eating 5 days. That's when it's time for that. But the calorie reduction method is actually when you start to lose muscle. And then for when we talking about an extended fast, you only tap into the muscle when you start to get about 3% body fat, real low percentage. So you got to keep a gauge on your body fat. But you don't really need to fast for like longer than 3 days for real. Like, honestly, you don't need to do that. If you're doing something like that, you're doing it for strictly like spiritual purposes. You don't really need to do. Are you trying to reverse a condition? Other than that, there's really no need to like fast on water for like 3 days straight. You don't really need to do that. You can space them joints out. You can fast on Monday. You can fast on Friday. Doing it like that actually is more beneficial. So a lot of people take it to the extreme, and all of a sudden you look up, they doing a 7-day water fast. Like, you don't necessarily need to do that, and that could be a little bit harmful doing that. So it's you got to work your way up to that too. A lot of people don't do that. A lot of people just go right for the gusto. People don't understand fasting is a process, man. You don't want to just jump out the gate trying to fast for 3 to 5 or 7 days. Don't do that. If you've never fasted for 1 full day, why do you think you're going to be able to fast for 7 days? That's the mistake a lot of people make. All right, let me see. Lindell, peace. What's happening? You say, my question off the top is, why do you think most chronic illnesses, diseases are common in our people? Is it hereditary or just generational poverty lines? Oh, no. Yeah, Lindell, nope. It's not hereditary. Stuff like, listen, genes account. Last time I did the knowledge, genes account for less than like 5% of the manifestation of this dis-ease, which is an imbalance. The number was at like 5%. It's environmental factors, it's habits, things like that. Those are the main causes of dis-ease. The food we eat, the poison in the environment, things like that. Those things trump genes. But a lot of times when you go to the doctor, they want to make it appear as if you have this condition because your grandmother had it, your mother had it, your aunt had it, this, that, and the third. What they had bad habits. And they passed those bad habits down to one another. That's how the disease was passed down. The habits were passed down, and that leads to the diseases. So then if you are in a family to where we passing down these bad habits, let's just say, let's focus on the heart. Let's just say, okay, man, your mother had heart disease, and her mother had heart disease, and then her mother had heart disease. All of this is a result of habits being passed down. So when it gets to you, that means you are more susceptible to developing a heart condition or heart disease than somebody who their mother didn't have it and their mother didn't have it. But all that means is you have to be more strict with your choices, your dietary choices. That's all it means. What they say, genes load the gun, but the lifestyle pulls the trigger. That's what it is. Like, that's all that it is. We passing down bad habits. That's the reason why you see chronic illnesses and diseases. And on top of that, it was manufactured to be that way. You know, it was manufactured to be that way. It was designed to be that way. You know, they spend a lot of money on marketing. And I'm talking about these destructive food companies. They spend a lot of money on marketing. They spend a lot of money trying to deceive you into feeling like you need to eat McDonald's, Burger King, what they call it, Crack Donald's, Murder King, all of that. They spend a lot of money deceiving you to feel like you need these foods. They spend a lot of money creating this desire within you to crave those foods. So a lot of money involved in the manipulation of your mind. A lot of money involved. So that's part of it also. They spending a lot of money to manipulate the mind to create this desire for these trash foods that's killing us. So we can never ignore that reality. They don't have marketing departments for nothing. They don't have a market research team for nothing. When you look at these major corporations, all of these toxic foods, you wonder, how are they still in business if this food is killing us? Listen, they all have they all have marketing teams. They all have marketing departments. What do you think they are studying in these marketing departments? You got the dairy industry. What do you think the marketing department is on in the dairy industry? What do you think they own? They trying to find ways to convince you to drink the cow's milk, even though they know it's unhealthy for you. McDonald's, you don't think McDonald's don't have a marketing team? What do you think the overall objective of the marketing team for McDonald's is? To convince you to continue to go to McDonald's. They don't care about your health. They're just trying to get you to go to McDonald's and spend some money and enrich them. So all of these corporations, all of these destructive food businesses and corporations, they all have marketing departments, and they spend a lot of money studying your mind, studying my mind, studying the collective black mind and the collective white mind and the collective Asian mind, trying to get all of us to go to their restaurants and buy all the food that they know is killing us. Chris at all. And it also depends on what one is eating for these meals. But for the most part, if we eat 3 meals a day, it's trash meals. Very trash. Very trash. Real Remedy 88. Does lifting weights fuck up your muscle? Nah. No. Lifting weights strengthens the muscles and strengthens the bones. Weightlifting is one of the best things that you can do when it comes to weight loss, when it comes to just overall health maintenance, bone health. Man, your heart health, weightlifting is one of the best things that you can do, for sure. Captain Defender, Brother Peace, what's happening? Prime Prodigy, peace. And that's how it typically works, Prime Prodigy, for sure. Francis, you say, would you recommend fasting if you're trying to gain more muscle? No. If you're trying to gain more muscle, I wouldn't necessarily recommend it. You can what'll happen is when you fast, though, you get leaner. You may see the number on the scale gonna go down for you, but you're gonna get leaner though. So when you're doing fasting, if you're trying to gain a lot of muscle, if you're trying to gain that muscle, then I would not recommend it. You obviously need to get your calories in. But you would get very lean. So when you bulk up, like bodybuilders go through the bulking phase and things like that, when it's time to lean out, fasting is definitely recommended. Rohan, man, it's so many things that are connected to dementia and Alzheimer's that it's crazy. It's crazy. But a lot of the food that we eat, man, it destroys our brains, man. It destroys our brains, and that makes us very susceptible to Alzheimer's and dementia. And then on top of that, for the most part, we got to get the brain food in us. You know what I'm saying? The blueberries, the hemp seeds, the omega-3s and things like that. We tend to lack. Then even when we think we getting it, a lot of people eating the seafood or fish and they think they getting it, but then all of a sudden they consuming too much mercury. And that's causing a problem. C square, peace. Appreciate that donation. Would you prefer calisthenics over bar weightlifting while during the fasting period? Now, when you fast, see, I've pretty much done both because I'm used to fasting at this point. So if you are new to fasting, honestly, I wouldn't even recommend that you work out. But if you do work out while you are starting your journey on fasting, I would recommend calisthenics. Because I already know how the game goes when you are new to fasting. A lot of people, it's a mental thing, man. You feel like you're about to pass out, feel like you're going to die. Now, all of this is not going to happen, but that's how you're going to feel initially when you are new to fasting. It's like clockwork. Everybody that I have fast for the first time, everybody that tries it and lets me know, it's like the first few days that they do it, or the first few times that they attempt to fast, they feel like they can't make it. And a lot of people fold, but that's normal. Man, when you detoxing and cleansing the body, you will feel worse before you feel better. It's normal. So stop freaking out when you go in 24 hours without eating and it feel like you're about to pass out, faint, you're nauseous, all of that. Having bad dreams, you might get diarrhea, all of that. Look, the side effects of fasting, man. You're cleansing your body. Your body is eliminating the toxins. If you are very toxic, then your symptoms going to be that much worse. So that's a good way to gauge how toxic you are. When you attempt to fast, pay attention to how your body responds. I mean, if you feel horrible, that's letting you know how toxic you are. If you are able to fast and you don't necessarily feel that bad, then that means the body is cleansing itself. The body is getting to that point, getting to that level of health. The body is balancing itself out. But if you fast, if it's day one and you trying to go 24 hours and you 10 hours in and you feel like you're about to die, like that's not good. That's letting you know like your body is bad off. Jasmine, peace. What's happening? Prime Prodigy, you say, how long do you have to fast to reverse a condition? It all depends on the person. You know, I done read a lot of success stories where people that fasted for, and again, I'm going to break down different forms of fasting. A lot of times people hear fasting, they just think water. No, that's not all. Like, it's different forms of fasting. But I done read cases where people that fasted for 30 days, then reversed the condition, 15 days, 100+ days. Like, I done read all type of stories. It really just depends on the person and their mindset and things like that. So it all really depends. There's really not a golden number, you know, but if you got a condition that you're trying to reverse, fasting is something that you need to be doing. Like I said, when you look at nature, when an animal is sick, they not trying to eat, they resting. So we got to apply that same logic to ourselves, man. Contrary to popular belief, we not too far removed from these animals. So studying nature, we can learn a lot about ourselves and what we need to do. So when you're not feeling good, man, one of the best things you can do is not eat. But we have been taught the total opposite. I remember growing up when I wouldn't feel good, they was telling me, man, you need to eat something. What they would do, give you some chicken noodle soup, things like that. They was trying to feed you. That was a common belief when I was coming up, and it's the common belief now that when you're sick, you got to eat something. The opposite is true. When you're not feeling good, don't eat. Your body is not in the mood. Your body is not in the mood to be breaking down food when it already is sick, when it doesn't feel good. The last thing you need to do is make the body work. That's the last thing the body is trying to do is work. So when you feed the body while it's already not feeling good, now it has to work to break down this food, and more than likely it's breaking down some trash food. So now it has to work overtime. That's stressing your heart out. That's stressing you out a lot more. So that's making the situation worse. So again, that's the last thing you want to do when you are not feeling good is eat. But that's one of the first things we go do. Matter of fact, I deal with a lot of people, and that's one of the reasons why people think that they're not feeling good. Oh, I need to eat something. Like my head hurting, that means I need to eat. That's where our minds are at. We think the cause of why we're not feeling good is because we haven't eaten yet. And that's totally false. But that's where our minds tend to go. Like, man, I got this headache. I need to eat something. Man, I ain't feeling too good. I need to eat something. No, that doesn't mean that you need to eat something. You do not have a headache because you need to eat. You have a headache because the last thing that you ate or the last few things that you ate are fueling your body and it's trash. So the toxins are flowing through your bloodstream and there you go. You have a headache. So that's not a sign for you to eat. That's a sign for you to eat something better the next time you do eat. But again, we misinterpret these signs. We misinterpret them. Shantae, Peach, what's happening? But yeah, fasting again. Before I forget, let me bring some books up to y'all, man. Some of the best books that talk about fast. I mean, I got a lot of books that talk about fasting, but I'm gonna bring up some books that be putting me on game. This is probably one of the most popular ones. Fast, feast, repeat. Like I've been studying fasting for a minute. You know, fast, feast, repeat. This is a pretty good one. The Obesity Code, Unlocking the Secrets of Weight Loss. This is a good one. And I'm going to just give, you already know I got to bring a book in from my peoples. Boom. Pyramids of Power, an ancient African-centered approach to optimal health. This is a jewel. A lot of people don't know about this book. A lot of people don't know about this one. It might be hard to find this one, but this is a good one. Pyramids of Power. Man, I read this some years back. Get this one. All my black people get that joint. And then the Diabetes Code, prevent and reverse type 2 diabetes naturally. He talks about intermittent fasting being one of the best ways to reverse type 2 diabetes. Type 2 diabetes is the new common cold, but they're not telling people to fast. They're not educating people about fasting. Why? Because it's money in that. It ain't money in healing people. It's money in that. It's money in having these people be diabetic. So they're not going to tell you, hey, one of the ways to prevent and reverse it is to do some intermittent fasting. And then another book, The Ultimate Guide to Fasting. And then The Science and Fine Art of Fasting by Herbert Shelton. That's another good one. Now, The Science and Fine Art of Fasting is like a 100-year-old book. It was one of the first books in the Western world that talked about fasting. So the language is kind of like weird, but that's a powerful book. And he was talking about he was talking about how people underwent fast and they were healing things like schizophrenia. Like that book talked about mental disorders being reversed from fasting. See, this is stuff that they're not going to talk about. This is stuff that if they see somebody talking about it, they say, we got to get rid of that. But yeah, in that book, The Science and Fine Art of Fasting, they talk about mental disorders being reversed from fasting. That was the first time I kind of read about that. So I definitely recommend that. That book is like $11 on Amazon. The Science and Fine Art of Fasting. The Science and Fine Art of Fasting. I got probably 1,000 more around here that talk about fasting, but these are some of my favorite ones, though. Like, these are some of my favorite ones that I mentioned. Percy, my brother, peace, what's happening? Hey, you know, we never off topic. You know, ask the question, and then I'm going to get to that joint once I build a little further on fasting. Orlando, peace, what's happening? When do you fast, and should you feel a lot of energy? Now, again, it depends on where you at on your fasting journey. When you first start off, when you are in the beginning stages of fasting, you probably will not be as energetic. You, like I said, you're going to feel worse before you feel better. But the more times that you fast, the better your energy gets. The better you get with the energy. But starting off, you probably going to feel horrible. Like the first few times that I fasted, I felt like everybody else. I was lacking energy, felt like I was dying. But when you do like extended fast, when you go past like 3 days, from my experience, when I get past day 3, like I start feeling good, like I'm like levitating out here. So I start to feel good. The energy starts to, creep back up and things like that. But the more you fast, the better you get with the energy. Like now I can fast and it's really not a problem. Like I can go on a 24-hour fast, not lose a step. I can still go lift the same amount of weights that I would be lifting if I was eating. So it's really not a problem now if I go on a fast, like I'm good. Tyson, 100%. It will 100%. It will 100% help with that. And you want to know why I tell? Because that's a blood flow issue, and one of the best ways, it's a lot of foods that you can eat to help with the blood flow, primarily your vegetables, but fasting is one of the best ways to help with the blood flow. Fasting is one of the best ways to help with the blood flow, so it will 100% help with that. 100%. 100%. What better way? And then matter of fact, when you fasting, Tyson, for that situation, when you fast and get you some chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is known to cleanse the blood. So if we're dealing with a blood flow issue and you undergoing a fast and you want to help with that blood flow issue, get you some chlorophyll. And every time that you fasting with the chlorophyll in the water. That's going to help that issue. That's going to knock it right out. But give it time, though. It's not going to heal itself overnight. It's not going to reverse itself overnight. Like you said, you've been dealing with it for 3 years. Give yourself time. But I guarantee you, if you out here fasting with the chlorophyll that's known to cleanse the blood, you're going to be good. But just give yourself time. It ain't going to happen overnight. C square, let's get it. Get it in. Dante, shifting your paradigm for sure. For sure. Yeah, tap in with that book too. Yeah, Chris. And then like honestly, when it comes to breakfast, and I tell people all the time, the best thing to eat is like fruits. Because when you again at night in the morning, your body not designed for heavy meals at night or in the morning. So in the morning time, when you so-called breaking the fast, that's light meal, that's light food. And then you got to look at it. Most people start their day in the morning, so they need energy. What's the natural energy booster? Fruits. You know, so I always recommend people consume fruits in the morning. Drink your water. That's light. Then to cap off the night, you also want to have a light meal. You know, the heaviest meal, again, for the most part, should be lunch, like middle of the day. That's when your digestive system is equipped, is ready. It's ready to break down some heavy meals at that time. Now, one thing I want to build on too, when it comes to fasting, the transition. I just talked about breaking it, but the transition into fasting is very important. The transition into fasting when you go on like 24 hours. If you want to optimize your results, is crucial for you to ease into a fast. It's crucial. A lot of times people go hard the day before and then they wake up and like, I'm a fast. They just ate everything under the sun the day before and then they want to fast the next day and wonder why they feel gross. If you want to do this properly, before you go on a 24-hour fast, the day before should be a very light day. You should be eating a lot of greens, a lot of vegetables, and then a lot of fruits in the morning. Just light meals. Every meal that day should be light. Then you want to fast the next day. Don't go eating pizzas and tacos and burritos and hamburgers and all of that, and then and junk food and all of that, and then wake up one day and say, I'm going to fast. You probably not gonna make it. That is not a good idea. So you always want to ease into the fast. So just like breaking the fast is important with something light, easing into the fast with something light is important as well. Especially if you want to optimize the results when it comes to like weight loss and things like that. And let me rephrase that. Weight loss, forget that. Fat, burning fat. That's what you want to do. You want to burn the fat. You know, so that's it. That's important. So ease into it, and then when you break it with something light. A lot of times they recommend vegetable broth and things like that to break the fast. So once you break the fast with the vegetable broth, then give yourself like an hour or two, then you can eat your solid meal. And the way you break the fast, it always revolves around how long you were fasting. So if you was only fasting for 24 hours, then you can introduce the solid meals rather quickly. If you was fasting for like 3 to 5 or 7 days, then it's going to take you some time to reintroduce the solid meals back into your system. So if you was fasting for 3 days, then I would say your first 2 or 3 meals after you break it should be something real light and soupy. Then you introduce the solid meals back. People don't understand that either. You fasted for 7 days and all of a sudden you breaking it with some crazy solid meals. Don't do that. Don't do that at all. Like, do not do that at all. Like that is one of the don't do that. You fasted for 3 days. Hey, take it easy. It's almost like when you get up too fast and you start feeling dizzy. Like, you slow down. You know, you'd have been 3 days, you've been 7 days without solid foods. Don't just your first meal go crazy. Don't do that at all. You know what I'm saying? Get you some vegetable broth, sip on that. Make you like a stew or a vegetable soup or something after that, like 2 or 3 hours after that. Drink you a smoothie or do you some juice and things like that. And this is for the people that's going on water fast and whatnot. Now, if you're doing a smoothie fast, then that's different because technically you consuming some calories and some nutrients. I mean, you know, so it's a little different. But if you're going strictly water, then yeah, you definitely gotta ease back into the solid foods. Even when you're doing the smoothies, you still kind of want to take it a little easy and keep it light. But a lot of people go hard. When they break that fast, man, that first meal be something crazy. That's dangerous. That's dangerous. Orlando, there you go. There you go. Percy, my brother, appreciate the donation. You said yesterday Mexicans and blacks are at the bottom. Okay, I read an article that said the average household income for us is 45K and then 56K. My question is, when and how did they pass us? Man, I don't know the exact how, but I connect everything back to when they broke down the family. And when they made the welfare system beneficial to when black women started to benefit a lot from the welfare system when they kicked the man out of the house. Once they started doing that, that's when everybody really started to surpass us that hadn't passed us at that point already. Once you kick the man out the house, now you have divided the household. Now we have single family households. That's going to make the income go down. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these other cultures, their families are not divided. You know, the family unit is still intact. Not the case for us a lot of times. Yeah, Chris, I made a Facebook post about consuming water or drinking water in the morning. And they say most heart attacks happen in the morning, and that's a result of dehydration. You know, so one of the first things you want to do when you wake up is grab you some water, man, some warm water, and drink that joint. Captain Defender, brother. Yeah, yep. Salmon definitely has the mercury. So that's why I just recommend don't go too crazy on it. And that's what tends to happen when people eliminate everything and they still incorporate seafood. They tend to go crazy. It's almost like when a person goes vegetarian, eliminates meat, they start going crazy with the cheese. A lot of people go crazy with the seafood and that mercury, you know what I'm saying? Their iodine levels get to being too high, things like that. And you say, what's your take on semen retention as possibly connected to healing? I'm going to be honest. Now, again, overindulging in sexual activities, like you overindulge in anything, that's destructive. But semen retention, honestly, to me, is more so a thing of discipline. Like it's more so a thing of discipline to me, opposed to like actual healing. Now, again, if you overindulging in sex, that's a problem. But doing it occasionally is not really causing problems. Now, again, I'm not saying doing it occasionally with any and everybody. That can cause problems, man. But if you're in a solid relationship and been in it for years, like that's actually not a problem. I look at semen retention as more as a thing of discipline when people are practicing that. TRKR, peace, what's happening? Okay, Jessica, you say I can't do water fast. It's so hard for me. So I would somebody such as yourself that say that now you can do water fast. You just got to work your way up to it. So we wouldn't start you off with water fasting. You would be one of the ones that start off with the intermittent fasting. So like the 19-5, the 24. And I'm gonna give y'all the jewel, which I've talked about. They say the form of intermittent fasting, like the golden form of intermittent fasting that taps into the fat burning, is 19-5. A lot of people do the 16-8, but they say the magic one is the 19-5. So obviously, if you exceed the 19 and do like 24 or 21-3, obviously you'll be burning fat. But they say if you want to tap into the fat burning and still semi-eat, the 19-5 is the best way to go. You know, so Jessica, somebody such as yourself, I would recommend mastering that one first. Like, all right, I'm doing the 19-5. And then after you do that for a month, do the 24, meaning eating within the 4-hour window. And then work your way up to where you're doing like a 23-1, which is basically going to be like one meal a day. Then after you do that, then you're ready for 24 hours. But then when you do your first 24 hours, I would do like juice or smoothies. And then after you do that for like a month or two, then you probably gonna be ready for the water fast. Tyson, yeah, it depends on the person. Like right now, if I fast, I'm going strictly water because I can handle it. But if you're new to fasting, I would not recommend doing full water fast. Like it can get a little crazy for you and it can become dangerous. So you might need to do something like smoothies and just like liquids or something. Like if you got a juicer, make you some juices and then do the smoothies or do raw foods, something like that. I would recommend starting with that first, which technically those things are not really, that's not really fast. Like fasting is really abstaining from food. So, when you're doing smoothies and juices and raw foods, like you technically are eating. So it technically would not be called a fast, but that's what I would recommend to do to work your way up to the actual fast, like when it's water. But you got to work your way up to that, man. So you got to be able to go 24 hours with just juices and not just store-bought juices and things like that. Make your own juices, make your own smoothies. When you master that, then try vegetable broth, something like that. Try raw fruits and vegetables. Try 24 hours with that. Like, try these ways first, then work your way up to the 24-hour water fast. It's all a process. Oh, C-square, yeah. People don't like water, so why even be surprised if they don't like you? Yeah, for sure. And that was, you know what I'm saying? That was basically to say, no matter what you do, no matter how positive, negative you are, it's gonna be somebody out there that don't like you. If people cannot like water, what makes you think that people won't like you? Something that we all need, you have people that don't like it. So again, it's to no surprise to me that somebody would not like me or anybody else, no matter what they're talking about. Adoray Gaming, you said, how do you integrate exercise and intermittent fasting? Do you just exercise whenever, but only eat during the 5-hour window? So, like I said, man, since I've been doing it for so long, I can exercise and fast no problem. But what I have, like a lot of my clients be fasting now. So what I recommend, if you're doing 24 hours, I wouldn't recommend trying to go hard when it comes to exercising. Do you probably some light cardio or something, that's gonna help you tap into burning the fat as well when you do that cardio in the fastest state, which is why they recommend that. They recommend do you some like if you're gonna do cardio to burn some fat, they recommend doing it first thing in the morning before you eat anything. That's doing the cardio in the fastest state. As far as exercising, it depends on what your program is. It depends on what your goal is as well. Like I said, I've had people do 24-hour fast and they still come in to work out. Don't necessarily recommend that because I'm gonna have you do something crazy. Now, if you're doing like a 19.5 and you eating between the window, then I would say work out, or at least try to work out in the middle of that window so that after the workout you can get you some food in. And then start the fast. Like if you do a 24-hour fast, start the fast after that. Or if you just doing the 19.5 or the 24, whatever it is you're doing, then of course you're gonna just repeat the same cycle the next day. But I would recommend trying to work out in between, like in the middle of your window, so that you can kind of eat before to fuel yourself through the workout and then eat afterwards to repair the damage. That's what I would recommend. So try to place if you're doing the 19.5, try to place your 5-hour window at a spot where you're working out in kind of like the middle. Or you got about an hour or two left after the workout is done. And then that's when you eat like some greens or something. Snuggles Peace, what's happening? King repeats, yeah, for sure. Chris, a man is nothing without the discipline. Montel, you say, are there such things as stages of fasting? Yeah, if I'm interpreting that correctly, yes. You know, if you mean, I mean, I guess I can interpret that bunch of different ways in regards to stages of fasting. So I might need a little more clarity on it, but yeah, definitely there's stages to everything. There's levels to everything. Most definitely there will be stages to fasting. And it also, again, depends on the form of fasting. Chaos Rain, man. So it, like right now, I'm on a powerlifting situation, man. I'm working out, bulking up a little bit. So I haven't been fasting that much. But when I'm in the zone, when I'm just trying to get my mind right, man, I try to fast once. Now, again, I'm talking about 24-hour fasting for me. I'm always intermittent fasting. Like I rarely eat in the morning. Like morning time, like I'm rarely eating anything in the mornings. Because the way my schedule is set up, I have to eat late into the night. Because of how my schedule is set up. So I rarely eat in the morning. Like I might not eat a solid meal until like 1 or 2 o'clock when I'm done training in the morning. And if I do eat, I'm eating like bananas or something. I'm eating fruits. But for the most part, I don't eat heavy at all in the morning. Unless, like I said, I'm really trying to bulk up, put on some muscle, or put on some mass, then I might consume a little bit in the morning. But for the most part, I'm not eating in the morning time unless it's just some fruit or something. Aderade, you said I've water fasted before, and the first time or first day is always the worst. Always. Always. Eventually, if you push past it, then your body begin for sure. And that's with everything. The body adapts and adjusts. That's why I tell people, man, give it time. Yeah, Shantae, man, I can't if it ain't fruit or some liquid, man, my body just don't even want it. All right, Montel, you say like stage 1, stage 2 are steps to complete fasting. That's what I meant. Yeah, and it would depend at that point. It would depend on the type of fasting that you're doing because there are a lot of different forms of fasting. Like I said, the 19-5, 16-8, 24. You got the 5-2, the 4-3. You got the what is it? The alternate day fasting, meaning you eat one day, fast the next day, and you just keep repeating that cycle. You know, so you got different forms of fasting. So it would depend on the type of fasting that you're doing in regards to like the steps and whatnot or the stages. CC Peace, what's happening? Orlando, yeah, for sure. I didn't did plenty of fruit fasts. And again, here I go talking about fruit fast. It's 2022 and the world is afraid of fruits. So when I talk about fruits, everybody start getting nervous. Oh, you can't eat fruits, it's gonna make you fat. That's gonna do the X, Y, and Z to your sugar levels and all that. There's nobody on the planet that didn't die because they have eaten fruit. So let's eliminate that. Fruit is never the enemy. So stop all the nonsense. Stop all the nonsense. But again, Orlando, I would just recommend easing your way into that. So some light meals before and after. Like give yourself a day or two to incorporate like some real heavy meals back into your system. It's young. You say, what's your take on the oatmeal in the morning? Uh yeah, so it depends on your goal, but oatmeal is one of the things that I'll let slide in the morning. Like some steel cut oats with like some berries in it or something. Brent, yep. Jasmine, yeah, fruit in the morning. Listen, man, that's really all I can about tolerate, you know. Just drinking water, eating fruits, you know, and I work out in the morning. So I'm always kind of working out in the fastest state. That's how I'm able to maintain just the lean muscle mass. So I wish I can give y'all I wish y'all could see my phone on this screen, but I don't think y'all can see it. But the last time I stepped on my scale gives me everything. And just to show y'all that y'all won't lose muscle when you fasting. See, I don't know. Yeah, y'all, nope, can't see that. But the last time I jumped on the scale, because I've been on a weight gaining mission. And listen, I've been gaining muscle all the while. I'm still intermittent fasting. Show you how it works. It's because I know what to eat too when I do eat. So the last time I got on the scale, I was 150.8. But here's the thing. My body fat was at 11.2. It dropped down like 1% from 12. And my muscle went up to 124.6, and it was at 121.4. So I gained about 3.2 pounds of muscle, and I lost a whole percentage of body fat. Like my body fat went down a whole percentage, and my muscle went up like 3.2. This is doing intermittent fasting and things like that. And my water is at 61.7. Most people that I have get on my scale, like their body water is low, very low, very low. My brother Chris, appreciate that donation. You say I'll be in STL later this year with my shop, bro. Oh, for sure. Let's get it. Let me know when you touch down. You gotta tap in. Steely the young boy, you said I recently found that I desire less and less many of the foods given to us. That has made fasting simpler as I reconstruct how I eat, for sure. You know, and fasting also helps with like cravings and things like that. Captain Defender, brother, man, I'm telling you. Don't even get me started. Like I think everybody heard me vent on fruits. I think everybody heard it, but I always get mad when this comes up because I never forget one of like my first few clients when I opened up my little gym, and what they doctor told them. Because I was telling them to eat fruits in the morning, and they doctor I don't know if it was a doctor or a nutritionist. I think it was the doctor. And the doctor told them that they can't eat fruit. They can't eat fruit as a snack. But they told them they can have cheese sticks. You know what I'm saying? They was telling them they can have cheese sticks. They was telling them that they can have a pattyless burger. You know what I'm saying? With not a pat, like a burger without the bread. So just a patty and a cheese. So you can have a patty and a cheese. You can have cheese sticks, just a slab of cheese, but you can't have fruits though. You can drink milk, but you can't eat fruits though. Like that's frustrating. This was real life advice given to a client of mine by a doctor. I was like, yeah, okay, this is what we were up against. Like that was terrible. Just listen to how that sounds. You can eat the burger without the bread, with the patty and the cheese. You can eat a slab of cheese, man. You can eat cheese stick, just cheese on a stick. You can drink milk. You can do all these things. You can't eat some strawberries though. You can't eat a cup of strawberries. Oh, that's too much sugar. But yeah, that's where we at with it though. That's literally where we at with it. Yeah, Shantae, man. Yeah. Oatmeal is that joint. Like if I do eat anything in the morning that's solid, it would be oatmeal. Jessica, yeah, you burn more fat when you work out in a fasted state. So a lot of times people don't understand that too when it comes to losing weight. Sometimes you might not lose weight, but you gaining muscle. So the number on the scale is staying the same, but you developing more muscle, so you're going to appear smaller. Because we all know the relation. We all know the relation between muscle and fat. And muscle weighing less than fat. So when you have more muscle, you could appear smaller even at the same weight. So you could be 160 more body fat, you could be 160 less body fat, and you look smaller. That's when you need to measure your progress by your clothes, how your clothes fit, measurements, things like that. CC, you say, what's your take on BMI? I can't stand BMI. I feel like BMI is like racially biased. It doesn't take a lot of things in consideration. It doesn't take a lot of things into consideration. Like I remember the last time I was tapping into BMI information, and it was talking about how it just certain things about the height, how it doesn't take that into consideration. So a lot of people that are shorter, like our BMIs are going to naturally be kind of elevated. Like my BMI is like high. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a lot of things that thing don't take into consideration, especially the build of like black women. So a lot of black women gonna get on there just gonna tell them they BMI is high, but it's like it's really not. You know, and then the BMI is body mass index. You know what I'm saying? So you can have a lot of mass, but that don't necessarily mean you unhealthy. Like I got a lot of muscle. You know what I'm saying? So my BMI is still gonna be kind of high because I have muscle mass. But they didn't made us think that like a high BMI is a negative thing. I don't look at BMI, I look at body fat. Shante, hey, my bad, not the little gym, the gym. Chris, you say I like my muscle now, but want to get rid of some stomach fat to get the abs right. Best practices, definitely fasting, definitely the intermittent fasting. So close that window. Try to do the 19.5. And then I don't know how you are training your abs right now, but if you just want to slim, if you want to get that stomach down, then you want to do weightless ab exercises. That'll help slim that waist down as well. So I would say do some intermittent fasting, try to do the 19.5 and do a lot of weightless ab exercises and try to keep the reps high. Because when you do weighted ab exercises, that makes your abs like bulkier. A lot of people don't be aiming for that. They don't want that. So if you want to trim the waist down, if you want to slim the waist down, then you don't want to do weighted ab exercises because that's, like I said, that's building the muscle. That's gonna make them a little bulkier. If that's not what you want, then you want to do the weightless ab exercises and keep the reps high, and that's gonna slim that waist down. Along with cleaning up the foods, eat more greens, getting the fiber in, things like that. Things that are not sticking to you, or foods that are not sticking to you. 9 rounds, yeah, dairy, terrible, yeah. Chris, nah, I don't think so. I don't think the doctor was black. I don't know though. I could be wrong. Cap Defender, brother, peace. Appreciate that donation. And the quote from Job. Magic Peace, what's happening? Chris, for sure. And like I said, man, people, I easily can meet people where they at. So a lot of people think that I always recommend going vegan. I mean, I do, but I know a bunch of different ways to eat to where you can reach that optimal state of health. Yeah, I know a lot of different ways to approach eating. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of different methods. A lot of different methods. Give me a second, y'all, man. I gotta tap in with people. Francis, you say, what do you think about carb backloading? Have you ever tried it? No, I haven't. No, I haven't tried it. And what do I think about it? I deal with balance. So I wouldn't necessarily, I would say balance the carbs out throughout the day. And even with carbs, man, like we start, and I've told y'all I'm predicting what's gonna happen because way back in the day, fat was the culprit. You know, fat was, so you had all these low fat diets. Ooh. Fast forward to today, now you got carbs. Carbs the enemy. Give it about 10, 15, 20 more years, protein gonna be the new enemy because they already got a lot of research out here letting you know how toxic protein is, the overconsumption of protein. So give it another 10, 15 years, then we're gonna start talking about low protein diets. That's gonna happen. Proteinaholic is the best book that breaks it down. The China study, all of these books. So they got enough research out here letting you know how toxic protein is, especially the amount of protein that we consume on a day-to-day basis. So they done made carbs the enemy here in the wilderness of North America, but the healthiest populations on the planet all consume a lot of carbs. Their diets or their regimen is carb-based. Again, Blue Zone Strategy or whatever that book is called. I think it's what, Blue Zone, Blue Ocean? No, Blue Zone Strategy. Yeah. That book studies the healthiest populations, and all of them have carb-centered regimens. All of them. But here in the wilderness, North America, they done made carbs the enemy. Jessica, 100%. When I put black women on the scale, I bypass BMI. I don't even chop it up with her. Like, I don't even build on BMI with her. I told her I don't care about that. We're not looking at BMI, don't mean much. Let's look at this body fat. Let's look at this muscle mass. Like, let's focus on that. Antoinette, Peach Queen, what's happening? Kinra for sure, and that's what I be recommending. Like, every other day. Like, if you're gonna consume the meat, do it every other day. That's the best approach. Because that's heavy on the system, man. You got to give your body time to break down that meat. You know what I'm saying? You got to give your body time to break it down. And then we eat meat, and we eating heavy protein sources at every meal because that's what somebody told us. So our digestive system is going crazy. Like, you ate some bacon in the morning, then for lunch you tearing down a burger. You know what I'm saying? Your body is going crazy. Like, man, it's like, man, I got to break down this bacon. This might take a day for me to break this down. And you put a burger on top of that, and then for dinner, you about to eat some more meat. And we wonder why we rotting on the inside. Body ain't getting the proper chance to break down these foods, man. These heavy foods. And then we eat the light foods on top of the heavy foods and wonder why it seems like the stuff isn't working. Bro, you can't, if you eating toxic food throughout the day and then you eat some fruit, like, your fruit just gonna collide with the toxic food, and it's gonna cause the fruit to rot. And then it may give you gas and things like that. That's all that's happening. That's how when people eat like fruits and stuff, and they be like, "Oh, it gave me gas." Like, that's actually what's happening, man. The fruit is sitting on top of the toxic food that you ate hours before that, and your body didn't get a chance to break it down. Your body didn't get a chance to break it down. The fruit then collided with it because the fruit don't take long for that fruit to go through the body, but it's gonna take long if the body got to break down some other things. So then, boom, the fruit sit on top of that. And now all of a sudden, the fruit done rotted, and now you have gas. And you think the fruit caused the gas, but it wasn't the fruit. So it's a lot of things that happen as a result of eating fruit or vegetables that people blame or incorrectly blame the fruits on. Like, no, you have got to eat fruits by themselves on an empty stomach primarily. You have got to eat the fruit on an empty stomach for the fruit to be beneficial to you. So a lot of people don't necessarily do that. And that's a problem. Like, people tell me, well, I'm eating my fruits. Well, it's like you ate your fruit on top of this trash. That's your problem. That's why you're not seeing these results. Yeah, Rohan, pineapples on pizza. Like, that makes no sense. You know what I'm saying? That makes no sense at all. Like, for the life of me, like, that's how they used to play. That's how they used to do with breakfast. You know what I'm saying? We're going to eat the eggs, bacon, toast, grits, and then drink some orange juice or eat an orange. Like, I'm going to give you this orange, give you a slice of orange on top of all this food that I just mentioned. That's a horrible combination. It's a horrible mixture of foods. We're going to eat eggs, bacon, grits, toast, and then here go a slice of orange. And you finna tell me, well, I ate a fruit, I ate an orange. Man, that orange, you might as well just ate a tire or something. Like, that orange ain't gonna do anything for you mixed with all of that other food that I just mentioned. That is very pointless to eat the orange with all of that other nonsense. Like, horrible. Like, oh yeah, well, I ate an orange. Well, what else did you eat? Then you ate the orange after all of that, not before that, and waited 30 minutes to an hour. You ate the orange after the fact, and you like, Dad, I ate the orange while I don't feel good. Like, that's what people tell me. Like, a lot of people like, I be eating my fruits, I be eating my vegetables, and that's how they be doing it. Chris, my brother, appreciate that donation. You say fasting mode will try 19.5 and weightless ab exercise with more fruits and vegetables to get my ass right. Chris, I want to give you some. Hold up. Of course, the books fall as soon as I grab it. Like, I'm gonna get, because I study bodybuilders, I study fitness because that's what I'm on. I'm gonna give you Sergio Oliva, the myth, one of the best bodybuilders. Now, dude ate trash, but I'm gonna break down his ab routine. Now, it's crazy. Let me see if I can find it. It's crazy, but this is where I got doing the weightless ab exercises to just slim the waist, because this is what he was doing. So now again, you ain't got to do these reps and sets because it's a lot. You know what I'm saying? You probably won't have time to do this. You know what I'm saying? But he was doing sit-ups, 10 sets of 50. That's 500 sit-ups. That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Side bend twist with a stick. So just get you a little stick and just boom. You know what I'm saying? Going to the side. Side bend with the stick. Leg raises. He was doing 5 sets, 20 to 50 reps. And then he would do the side bend with the stick again. Now, he would do the side bend twist with a stick. Oh, no, okay, side bend twist. Okay, got you. I was like, hold on, same thing. So he did the side bend twist with the stick. He was doing 60 to 200 reps, 10 sets. Then he would do the leg raises, which would be hanging pretty much from like a bar or something, and you just bringing the leg straight up. That's one of my favorite ab joints. But he would do 5 sets, 20 to 50 reps of that, and then he would just do the side bend. So the twist is boom, boom. You twisting with that joint. The bend is just bending. So I missed the twist part. But he would do the side bend with the stick, 5 sets, 60 to 200 reps. And that's what he was doing. That's what he was doing to keep his waist small. All of that is weightless. Now, again, don't start with those reps and sets, but that's what he was doing. He was doing the basics, but they was just weightless ab exercises. Now, if your back is all bad, I wouldn't recommend sit-ups. I'd say do crunches. You know what I'm saying? But if your back is in decent shape, you don't be having any back pain, then those sit-ups would be right and exact for you. But yeah, every ab movement that he was doing, all of it was weightless. Jessica, no, see, when you do ab workouts with the weights, that is what creates muscle. So it's gonna make the abs like muscular, and that might create mass for the abs. You might not want that. If you want your waist to if you just want to slim the waist down and keep the waist small, you want to go weightless. But yeah, when you like like when you want that 6-pack, when you want to form that muscle in the midsection, then you want to grab some weights. That's what that's for. Anytime you talking weights, you talking about building that muscle. So again, weighted ab exercises serve a purpose. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying just don't do them. They serve a purpose because you want to build that strength. You want to build that muscle. Then abs. But if you just want to slim the waist down, go weightless ab exercises. But if you're going for that aesthetic appeal, go ahead and throw the weights in there. Get some strong abs, strong core. Chris Norwood, Sergio Oliva, one of the most famous bodybuilders from back in the day. Like I said, now his diet, trash. Dude was eating whatever he wanted. But dude worked out so doggone hard, it was crazy. Ray Hunt, yeah, the ab roller is right and exact. I do the rollout. I do the rollout with the barbell, but the ab roller, now you gotta work your way up to it. That ab roller is harder than people think. E reaction show, yeah. Yeah, you say more muscle helps you burn fat more effectively, for sure. Then it all depends on what you after. Like, I always deal with balance. I always deal with balance, man. So when I build my best physique, we was doing some everything. You know, it was balanced. So we was doing our weighted ab movements along with the weightless ab movements. That's when but then at the same time, we wasn't working our abs directly that much. Because a lot of people don't, like, when people say core, people just think abs. Like, abs are a part of the core. They're not the whole entire core. Lower back, glutes, hips, all that type of stuff, man, makes up the core. But most of my ab development came from strength training, heavy deadlifting, heavy squatting, military press, all that type of stuff. But we still did. We worked our abs. We did ab exercises, or core exercises, I should say. We did them every workout, and I was working out 4 days a week. And we did weightless. We did a lot of planks. We did a lot of side bends. We did a lot of leg raises, knee raises. We did a lot of things like that. Oh yeah, Rohan, yeah, cycling in addition to, yeah, buddy. Tyru, peace. Appreciate that donation. Yeah, for sure. Say trying to figure out how to cut, lose a bunch of water weight quickly but safely. Yeah, that dry fasting. DC, there you go. Get strong. Shantae, yeah, the ab roller can get complicated. I love it though. Like I said, I love doing it with the barbell. But be on the lookout though, man. I'm about to really start going hard with, you know, the fitness, as far as posting a lot of fitness joints, like workouts, and showing people how to do certain movements, things like that. So be on the lookout for that. Been a long time coming, man, but it's time, man. We got to get people right and exact. We got to get the people right and exact out here. Oh yeah, Shantae, yeah, toe touches, yeah, definitely did a lot of those too. Definitely. Francis, you say, should you strive for more than the RDI if you're physically active when it comes to getting your vitamins and minerals? Yet, for the most part, that applies to protein. So the amino acid. So yes, if you're physically active, you probably gonna need a little bit more than a sedentary person. But the messed up part about it is we all should be physically active. Rock D's, you say, I'm trying to figure out how to bulk up more, increase them calories. So however many calories you consuming right now, try to increase it by 500. So basically that just means add another meal. So however many meals you consuming right now, you would add another meal. Of course, make it clean, and you start there. But man, I think I pretty much got everything off my chest. I mean, it's a lot more that I can say in reference to fasting. But man, y'all get the point. You know, y'all get the point, man. If you striving to lose that weight, if you striving to burn that fat, if you striving to get that waist down, you should be doing some form of fasting. Experiment with all forms. Experiment with all forms. Like, experiment. Try the 19.5. Like, I'm gonna start with the 19.5 because that's the golden one. Start with the 19.5. Pay attention to how that works. Keep you a fasting log. Pay attention to how you feel. Pay attention to what your weight does, what the body fat does, what your muscle mass does. Pay attention. Document everything. Do the 5-2. 5 days where you eating. 2 days where you don't eat. See how that works for you. Do a 4-3. 4 days where you eat. 3 days where you fat. Like, experiment with all the forms of what they call intermittent fasting or fasting. Experiment with them all so you can determine which one is the best for you. Because like I said, what's best for me may not be best for you. So you got to experiment, man. The only way to know is to experiment. So take all these forms of fasting and apply them to your life. Literally, do them all. What's the worst that can happen? You break the fast and have to eat? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's literally the worst thing that can happen. If you striving to fast and it gets so hard that you gotta break down, eat something. That's the worst thing that can happen for you. So again, like, there's no reason why you can't at least attempt to fast, because the worst thing that can happen is that you have to break it and you just eat something. Like, literally, that's it. Like, yeah, I had to eat. I had to break my fast. Like, if that's the worst case scenario, then have at it. Experiment with them all. Experiment with them all. CC, man, I'm telling you, I got people doing the 5-2. I got a lady, man, she lost 12 pounds in 3 weeks doing the 5-2. And mind you, she lost 12 pounds doing the 5-2, but she didn't start in 3 weeks. But she didn't start doing the 5-2 until like the second week. So she only was doing the 5-2 for about a week. Corey, peace, man. I got some clients that make the sea moss for me. So that's where I get mine from. And I recommend, if you can find somebody in your area that makes the sea moss that you trust, tap in with them, because it's a lot of off-brand, you know what I'm saying, just like artificial sea moss out here, man. So you got to get some local joints, and you got to tap in with them to see what they on. And even them, you got to experience, you know what I'm saying, vet them out too. Dominique, peace, what's happening, my brother? But y'all, man, I done gave y'all this solid information. Go get all the books that I recommended on fasting. Get all them books. All those books are beneficial. All them books are crucial. All the books that I mentioned. But I'm out. I don't know if I'm gonna tap in this weekend. If not, definitely would do like a short video. I got clients hitting me up as I'm trying to close it. But yeah, definitely probably do a short video one of these days, because I might not have time. Got to file taxes and things like that, man. We got to do things legally around here. So I got to file the taxes and all that good stuff, man. But I'm gonna try to do a joint, but I might not be able to do it. So be on the lookout for something like probably both Saturday and Sunday, and I'm gonna tap back in with the folks on Monday. So be on the lookout Monday for me when it comes to the stream. Ain't no telling what I'm gonna build on, man, but I'm on a health kick right now, so it might be revolving around the same subject matter. But I appreciate all donations, everybody tapping in with the kid on this stream. Hopefully y'all have taken some jewels away from this stream. If not, oh well. You know what I'm saying? But I'm out though. Appreciate the donations, all the love. Y'all be easy out here, man. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all Friday. Eat healthy. Start thinking about which form of the intermittent fasting that you're gonna implement, and let me know how that works out for you. But I'm out, y'all. Y'all be easy. Peace.